Alright, we're back with another video. Jang TV. We're going to be reacting to our truth release from WWE. Find out what's been going on, man. Let's get into this video, see what's popping. What happened to my boy, our truth? Let's see what happened to him.
A wrestler into a legend? Is it how many titles they win, how many 5-star matches they deliver, or how many WrestleManias they headline? Pro wrestling is called sports entertainment, and while many have mastered the sport, perhaps no one ever embodied the entertainment like this man. He never main evented WrestleMania, never delivered a technical classic in WWE's ring, never held a world title, but he'll still be remembered as a legend because of the moments he created and the laughter he gave to a business that forgot how to smile. The eras changed, the logos shifted, titans rose and collapsed beneath the weight of their own legacy, but he remained. He became part of the foundation, a constant that never faded, one of those rare souls who showed up when the lights were dim, who kept the rhythm alive when the crowd forgot how to chant, the one who never asked for the spotlight, but stole it anyway. With absurd jokes, with an innocent smile, and with a heart so pure, it didn't belong in a business this cruel. He didn't walk into WWE looking like a hero. He was a broken kid from the South who sold drugs to survive, who found rap before he found ropes, who stumbled into wrestling through a halfway house and a second chance. There was no blueprint.
I just want to say real quick, my boy our truth can dance, bro. I don't think there's many people in the hood that can dance better than Ron. My boy get down, for sure, bro. He get down. Ron is that guy.
No chosen path, just hustle, charisma, and a fire that refused to die. And when he wrestled, he broke ground. The first black man to hold the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. The man who gave TNA its early spark. Who walked back into WWE with a new name and built something unprecedented. A legacy based not on gold, but on moments. He didn't need a 5-star match to be unforgettable. He needed 30 seconds, a mic, and a confused stare. He turned mid-card segments into main event memories, turned throwaway backstage scenes into the best part of the show, turned a children's belt into the most watched title in the company, and while others burned out, he adapted, through the PG era, all the way to the Netflix and algorithm age, from Steve Austin to Roman Reigns, from sold-out domes to soulless LED boards, through every era meant for someone else.
You know, I remember when our truth won his last championship. He was in Philly at WrestleMania, and I didn't even get a chance to go, but I was like outside of the what is this shit called, Lincoln Financial Field, and I was out there. I was mad as shit. I couldn't afford to go. I didn't have a ticket, but I saw, and it was kind of cool that day too. And him and Miz, they won the tag titles in a ladder match. My boy, our truth, he don't complain. He adapt, and that's true shit. He does adapt. You know, like from them firing this dude, letting him go, that's bullshit. I don't care. I would have let him stay. I would have protected him, but I don't know, and like we don't know what really happened. Like, did he get offered a new deal? If he did, he didn't want the money because, of course, fucking TKO. You know, they tried to downsize him, but at the end of the day, this dude is 50 something, going on 60. Great shape, phenomenal athlete. Still, I would have kept him, man. This guy is legendary. Not so many people can do that shit.
He survived, and somehow, through it all, he stayed the same. Same energy, same grin, same humor, same fire. He was the glitch in the Matrix, too entertaining to fire, too sharp to bury, too damn adored to ever fade. He made Brock Lesnar laugh on live TV, made The Miz relevant again, made Little Jimmy feel more real than half the roster. And when the stories stopped making sense, he became the story. He was the punchline that carried weight, the clown with more soul than...
His match with Cena, his last match with John Cena, bro, that shit was epic. His whole John Cena's entrance, Ron got that shit down pat, bro. I was laughing all the time. It's just funny. And then when he's in the match with John Cena, bro, that was a 5-star match, bro. And he's like 50 something out. Ron's still killing that shit.
Any king. But on June 1st, 2025, after 25 years of magic, when the company needed a heartbeat, they let go of its soul. They released the last living spark from an era where joy still mattered. This is the story of the man who turned comedy into legacy. The man who gave more than he was ever allowed to take. This is the story of a Joker who outshined the Batman. This is the story of our truth.
Thanks to Restore, Primetime is back.
This is my time.
I didn't want to be bold.
Stories like his aren't supposed to exist. Not in this business. Not in any business. How does a man with no connections, no wrestling bloodline, no Olympic pedigree or indie cult worship climb into the ring and last for decades? Ron Killings didn't come from a family of athletes. He came from survival. From Charlotte's underbelly. He sold drugs, ran from cops. The idea of becoming a professional wrestler would have sounded like a joke in the streets he came from.
Right.
That joke turned into destiny. He grew up with a dream of becoming a rapper. He had athletic talent, undeniable, but he turned down football scholarships to chase music. That decision led him to the hustle. That hustle led him to prison. It should have ended there. It didn't. It was at a halfway house during that liminal it didn't.
Alright, so Ron got arrested. Alright, so my boy did go to prison. He did. Like, he did his time. He came from the hood. Like, a lot of people be like, I came from the hood, I came from the bottom. No, Ron came from the hood, my guy. Killings. Ronnie Killings. Middle name, Aaron. They put his whole government name out there, bro. Crazy shit. Ron Aaron Killings. Well, Ronnie. Damn, 1972. Physical description, black. Male, 5'11". Weight, 190 pounds. Black, brown, short. Damn, they ran him down. That's crazy.
It should have ended there. It didn't. It was at a halfway house during that liminal space between relapse and rebirth that he met someone who changed his path. Jackie Crockett, brother of promoter Jim Crockett. Jackie saw something in him and offered him a shot. Killings said no. He had music to chase. The streets still called louder than the ring. 2 years later, he came back, broke, hungry, and searching for something to make ends meet. Jackie brought him to shows, introduced him to the ropes, to the rituals. Killings trained under Manny Fernandez, started wrestling as K-Crush, and made his first impressions in the Carolinas and Georgia, cutting his teeth in NWA Wildside. By late 1999, WWF signed him to a developmental deal. Within months, he was ready. The man they renamed K-Quick debuted on WWF Raw in November 2000 alongside Road Dogg. Later, he became part of the chaotic hardcore division, where he flourished briefly, winning the WWF Hardcore Championship twice under the 24/7 rule. Road Dogg's release in early 2001 gutted the team. Soon after, Killings faded from TV. WWF let his contract expire in 2002. He walked into TNA Wrestling and became something else. The year was 2002. Jeff Jarrett's promotion was barely holding itself together, clinging to weekly pay-per-views and the dying NWA brand. He debuted with a speech, a blistering shoot-style promo where he tore through the business, the audience, the very ring he stood in. He called out racism, nepotism, favoritism. He said what no one was allowed to say on wrestling television at the time, and the world listened. He came as the truth. Within 2 months, he did something remarkable. On August 7th, 2002, Ron the Truth Killings defeated Ken Shamrock to become the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, a title that traced back to Lou Thesz, Harley Race, Ric Flair, the oldest championship in wrestling. For the first time in history, it belonged to a black man. He became the first true main eventer of TNA's infancy. He held that world title twice, feuded with Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles, and carried the brand when it was on the verge of collapse.
Bro, what the fuck did he do on the rope? He did his special on the fucking ropes. I've never seen that shit. That was my first time seeing that, bro. What the fuck? Hold on. My guy.
Title twice, feuded with Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles.
He hit the fucking John, the fucking, the scissors kick on the top turnbuckle. And then he got this twist with that shit. Bro, that shit is crazy. My guy was athletic as fuck back in the day. Real shit.
And carried the brand when it was on the verge of collapse. Truth is only known now for his comedic gimmick, but in his TNA run, he showed what he was capable of when he got serious. By the time he left in 2007, it wasn't on good terms, but he left as a former world champion, a truth teller, a man who had dragged himself out of the margins and carved his initials into wrestling history. His story wasn't over. WWE was about to come calling again. WWE never built him to be the funniest man on television, but somehow he became the blueprint. When he returned in 2008 as R-Truth, rapping his own entrance, slapping hands with the crowd, bouncing with rhythm, he created a lane no one else could drive in. He wasn't handed main events, but every time that red light blinked on, he delivered. Fans loved him because he made them smile. In a business of violence and ego, he led with heart, with unpredictability, with sincerity, a walking punchline that never needed to punch down. Then in 2011, he cracked the mirror, the heel, a slow unraveling of the man we thought we knew. He spiraled into conspiracies, talked about sabotage, blamed it all on little Jimmy. He became madness, rants about bottled water, arguments with no one, attacks on John Morrison, a title match with John Cena, and through it all, it made sense. Then came the chaos of the awesome truth. They cracked it wide open. They stormed Hell in a Cell, got fired, stormed the ring again in street clothes, cut raw promos from hotel rooms like guerrilla theater. It all felt real.
Yo, I remember that shit when he turned heel with Miz, bro. That shit seemed real. Getting locked up and shit, that shit was real, bro. Like, you can't feather that shit, man. Like, when you got a storyline and you can sell some shit like that, and you can make it feel like that shit is real, and you put your everything into that shit, you can't fake that, man. Like that, they put all that shit up in there, and that's what's up. Cause you know, I wrestle myself, and like when I'm out there, you leave all that shit out there. Everything you gotta leave it out there, and Ron is that guy. He was underrated as fuck, and he deserved to be, you know, a world champ at some point. He did. I would have gave him a run for that shit, but you know, wherever he's gonna go now, he's gonna kill it. Anyone will be lucky to have him.
Survivor Series 2011, Madison Square Garden, Cena and The Rock versus Awesome Truth, the biggest box office tag match of the decade, and Truth was in it, holding his own, dancing, throwing punches, setting the pace. Then a wellness policy violation took him out, and the split happened. Then he morphed into the version fans still talk about, the Chaos Engine, the Scene Stealer, the backstage wild card. He teamed with Goldust for a while. Then, he wore a Confederate uniform in the South and got cheered. He pulled a ladder into the Royal Rumble match and forgot why. He cut promos mid-match, forgot cities, called out wrestlers who weren't booked, asked Kane to get him into Money in the Bank, broke kayfabe just enough to make it feel human again. He even broke the Beast. That was his genius. No script needed, no belt required. In a world getting louder, he got weirder. When stories collapsed, he freestyled better ones. When the crowd needed joy, he gave it, with no conditions. Every generation gets someone who makes people laugh, but Truth made them laugh without hurting anyone. He never punched down, never garnished cheap heat. His jokes had rhythm, his skits had soul. Even his nonsense carried a strange kind of wisdom. That was the art. He could dance, rap, spin chaos into calm. But under the layers of comedy was a performer with the best instincts in the room. A man who built unforgettable matches out of confusion and still made the ending stick. He made laughter feel eternal. And behind every absurd moment, there was something unshakable. There was always truth. In May 2019, WWE introduced a title no one wanted, the 24/7 Championship. A green...
Didn't nobody want that shit. So when Mick Foley introduced the 24/7 title, everybody was like, yo, this fucking, you gotta be kidding me. It's fucking stupid. Like, who the fuck's gonna carry around that little ass title? Who's gonna do that? Like, who's gonna really compete for a 24/7 championship? It was put together. The belt looked like shit, but R-Truth turned that belt into history.
Plated novelty belt, born from late night TV logic and meme culture. It wasn't supposed to matter. It wasn't meant to last. But R-Truth picked it up, looked at it, and turned a punchline into a movement. He won it in the first week, then lost it, then won it back, then did it again, and again, 54 times. Truth held the title in hotel rooms, elevators, weddings, golf courses, airport terminals. He dressed as mascots, janitors, flight attendants. He pinned superstars mid-sandwich. hidden luggage, played dead, outsmarted and outran anyone who chased him. His feud with Drake Maverick turned into serialized brilliance. Then came Carmella. She was a perfect partner in mayhem. They won the mixed match challenge together. They dodged ambushes, fled backstage, hid in broom closets, and through it all, Truth made it feel like the title was real. And that joy mattered more than ever. This was WWE during a cold stretch. Corporate mandates were tightening, live crowds were thinning, the product felt drained, but Truth kept it alive, kept it moving, kept the crowd laughing even when the crowd disappeared during the pandemic. He was the face of joy when joy felt rare, a performer who showed up week after week to give the fans something honest, and never mailed it in, not once. Then came the resurgence. In 2024, Awesome Truth reformed once again, and at WrestleMania 40, they got to live their moment by snatching the...
This was when it was in Philly, and I was outside the stadium, but I watched the match right across the street, and when I saw him and Miz win the tag team titles, and I'm like, yo, y'all deserve this shit. It's well deserved, for sure. It's well deserved. R-Truth underrated. The Miz, he had his time, but R-Truth being black and the WWE was definitely racist. They still is a little bit. This man did everything he could, bit the bullet, made himself into his own icon in his own way. Never carried ego, never carried, like a family torch. He came from the hood, came from the ghetto, and he made his mark. You can't do shit but respect that, bro. You can't. And I was happy for him. I was an R-Truth fan for a long fucking time. And my guy, now that he's gone out of WWE, I don't know where he's going to go, but for sure all his fans will follow him. And if he don't want to wrestle no more, that's cool too. But, he has this music that we follow and many other things. So for sure, my man he's blessed and he's going to be all right.
Raw tag team titles from the ladder. Following that, Truth slid deeper into Judgment Day's orbit.
Funny.
He broke their segments with candy, jokes, confusion, and every time he made them laugh, made the crowd crack, made the moment land. But outside the cameras, the love ran deeper. Truth was known as one of the kindest, most generous presences in the locker room, a mentor, a light. Everyone had a story about him, about the time he helped, the time he calmed tension, the time he made a long day feel lighter. Some endings feel like betrayal, some feel like silence, and then there's the kind that feel like heartbreak stitched to legacy, too loud to ignore, too sudden to forget. That was how it ended for R-Truth. It started at February 2025, Elimination Chamber, the day that history was made. The greatest of all time and Truth's childhood hero, John Cena, turned to the dark side. Fans reacted with boos, but Truth reacted with hope. The man he idolized, the man he wanted to be when he grew up, couldn't be a bad guy. That's why he helped Cena win against Orton at Backlash and went on to congratulate Cena at the press conference. But what did Cena do? He dropped him through a table. So Truth decided to take matters into his own hands. He delivered the best promo of his life and vowed to teach his childhood hero the lessons of hustle, loyalty, and respect once again. The match was set for WWE Saturday Night's main event. Truth walked into the ring rapping Cena's theme. Wearing his classic shirt, he was Ron Cena, and his last time was now. He fought with heart, and at the end, he fell to Cena's...
And that is crazy because how the fuck ironic is that? His last time wrestling was then. His last time was now. And after he wrestled John Cena, they removed him. So it's like they give him a farewell match. Low key, but just didn't tell him. And they sent him off on a bang low key with John. That shit is ironic. His last time was now. R-Truth last time was now. He had his shirt, did his thing, came out to his music, and he put on a good show with John. That shit is ironically fucking crazy. Last match was with John.
AA. Even he didn't know that it was the end, but someone knew. According to reports, Nick Khan had put Truth on the chopping block a year earlier, but they decided to wait until his contract expired.
I know it's a cliche, but in the world of sales, time really is money. Luckily, we found Monday's CRM.
Cena knew about it. That's why he added Truth as part of his retirement tour, as one last effort to show management the utility of his old friend. But even that didn't work. 1 week later, R-Truth tweeted that he had been released.
When he posted this on fucking Twitter, I was pissed, bro. And I saw this shit. Even I commented, I was pissed. I didn't believe it. Because, you know, R-Truth, they making jokes. So you don't believe that shit. Like, fuck out of R-Truth. You playing, bro. No, this dude was serious. Shit is crazy.
It came without fanfare. No thank you video. Just another name on the budget cuts list. But the fans didn't take it quietly. Neither did the locker room. Tributes poured in. The Miz posted a photo from WrestleMania 40, their tag title win immortalized in pixels. Kofi Kingston tweeted, "The most genuinely entertaining human I've ever met." Xavier Woods shared a video of Truth getting the entire locker room to sing with him after a show in Berlin. Cena himself posted a silent image. Truth in full Cena gear. Thank you Truth trended worldwide. Fans posted their favorite segments. The ladder in the Royal Rumble. The Lesnar laugh. The dozens of 24/7 title changes in hotels and golf courses. The time he rated NXT thinking it was Raw. The next episode of Raw, the fans took over. Chants of, "We want Truth" echoed through the arena. No one could forget him. He was a constant, and WWE let him go. It felt like a personal loss, and it was hard to understand what was gained. Whatever TKO was paying R-Truth would be equivalent to a drop in their limitless pool of profit. Record attendance, hiked up ticket prices, flooded commercials, skyrocketing earnings. Still, they didn't manage to find a single spot for a veteran with 25 years of experience. He was doing perfectly fine in the role he was in. And even if he wasn't, Truth had proven time and time again that he didn't even need to wrestle to be entertaining. He could have been given a backstage role, worked as a manager or general manager. He could have run any extra content show or helped talent in NXT. The possibilities were limitless. But at the end, WWE decided to cut off the last beating heart in order to turn it into their corporate utopia. Triple H says that he doesn't listen to the internet wrestling community. He only listens to the arena. Then why didn't he listen when they cheered for Karrion Kross? Why is Logan Paul still being pushed despite obvious go-away heat? And why didn't he hear the countless fans who loved and adored R-Truth and will still chant for him forever? Because R-Truth wasn't the comic relief. He was the reminder that wrestling, at its best, is supposed to feel good. He was the beat between the bells, the last pop before the silence, and in the echo he left behind, you can still hear it. Thanks for watching. Click on the screen to find out who is the only man Roman Reigns can never...
You know, it is sad that this shit happened, but when you are a part of a big ass company and a big corporation, you never know what can happen to you. I don't care if you're the biggest star. If they want to get rid of you, they'll get rid of you. And now, in today's world, people are selfish and they don't know what they got until it's gone. But it's about money. That's what it's always about. Fucking money, man. They don't care about the fans, you know. They don't give a shit. It's like they fucking said. They don't care. Triple H doesn't give a damn. But if you cared about what the fans thought inside the arena, you would have understood why get rid of fucking R-Truth, bro. Shit pissed me off, man. Wrestling's not the same. And then John's gonna damn sure take the Undisputed Championship home. And they're going to bring back the WWE Championship. And I'm pretty sure, you know, they're going to give John the Undisputed title as a gift and a farewell, gift for his 17th win. But that's a whole new different subject, bro. I'm done. I'll see you on the next video.